Hi, welcome to another episode of Amputee Outdoors. Today I'm going out camping, car camping, to Camp Casey, Fort Casey, out here in the Puget Sound on Whidbey Island with my son's Boy Scout troop. And there's no trees. There's no trees available to us, so I had to buy a N. And I do apologize for using four-letter words in these videos. I do apologize. That was terrible of me. Anyway, yes, I'm reduced to using this thing, this monstrosity. I did go and buy the cheapest possible hint that I could, because I don't really want to invest any more than the $15 I spent on this thing. Hopefully next time we'll go out and we'll be hammock camping. So I'm going to be out here going through Fort Casey along the beach. I'll do some videos of that and share that with you. So just hang tight and we'll have some views of some ancient forts. See you soon. So here we are at Fort Casey. This fort was one of the shore battalions built in the late 1800s, and really by the 1920s these fortifications become kind of obsolete. During World War II they were used again to watch out for Japanese, possible Japanese invasion, but most of the guns have been replaced. It was really more of a lookout station. These guns here are actually from the Philippines. This base was turned over to the basically to the state back in the 1950s to be used as a state park, and these guns were installed here in 1968. They were found in the Philippines, shipped over here and put here to kind of recreate how this place used to look. And they've done a nice job of setting up a couple of these gun emplacements so you can get an idea of how things looked back in the late 1800s when this was an active base. It's really kind of interesting to think about this place being used back then, because where we are now, quick and easy to get to from anywhere in Western Washington, really. But back in those days, it was an isolated place out in the middle of the Puget Sound where, you traveled for a day or more just to get here. So it's kind of interesting to look at it from that perspective. This is a beautiful base. It's a beautiful camp. It's a beautiful area. If you've got the time to do some camping and you want to find a nice location for it and you live in Western Washington, I recommend Fort Casey is a great place to come for a day camp or for a weekend or a week in the summertime. All right, I'm going to look around some more, maybe take a couple more videos. I'll talk to you in a little while, okay? Thanks. That's the Olympic mountain range there on this beautiful mid-November day in the sunshine, which for the Pacific Northwest, not that common. So we're making the most of it, spending it outdoors in the sun. So here we are further along in Camp Casey, Fort Casey. I keep saying camp, it's fort. I'm over at Camp Casey, but this place is Fort Casey. This is one of the 3-inch guns that they had a range of about 5 miles and could shoot across Admiralty Bay in case any smaller ships made it past the big 10-inch guns. So I'm wondering, what areas around where you live are historically significant, interesting, or just kind of curious that you could go visit? There may be something around in your neighborhood that you've never even heard of, that only the tourists ever seem to find. Check around, see if there's any place around where you live where you can go visit, learn about some of the history, and go for a nice walk around that area. It may not be anything big or a huge important place, but it might be interesting and important for where you live. And that's good enough. Go check it out. Go for a walk around those historical places, learn a little about the area, and get a little bit of exercise and get outdoors. It's a win-win. So, wearing my shades so you can't see this, but I'm squinting into the sun. The sun's right over there, and in a few hours it's going to be falling behind the Olympic Mountains, and I hope I can be here at the right time to catch a beautiful sunset, because it's an incredibly clear, beautiful day, which in the Northwest is very, very rare in November, so we're really enjoying this. But what I want to do is pan this camera around so you can see this full view, and I don't know if you can see it, but over there in the distance is Mount Baker. It's probably too small on your screen with my dinky little camera. This is beautiful white pile of snow on the horizon. It's great. All right, so I'm going to pan this camera around and let you guys enjoy this view. All right, hang on for a second. All right, in the far distance there, that's Mount Baker. Pan you around to the observation towers, or stations that they used back then, and then to the rest of the base. You can see there the hidden guns. So they would have these big 10-inch guns that they could lower and raise to hide them and bring them up when they needed to bring them up. They had a range of like, what was it, 8 miles? Yeah. And there's this expansive Straits of Juan de Fuca. And the Olympic Mountains coming into view now. And for those of you that are unfamiliar, that bright light there is called the sun. Yeah. I know we in the Northwest aren't very familiar with that phenomenon, but that's what it is. And that's Admiralty Bay there.
Oh, is that nice and warm in there? Great. Yeah. In the car.
So, this is the final video, I think, for this little episode of Amputee Outdoors, this little segment here. I want you to notice my tent here, those white parts there. Yeah, that's frost. It got that cold last night. I stayed warm, but there's a reason I use hammocks when I go camping normally. It's because my back and my hips are killing me from sleeping on the ground. Now, I've got a pad. It's a nice thick pad. I've got an insulating layer under me, but I don't care how thick it is. My back just hates sleeping on the ground. This worked to keep me from the elements and all my stuff together, so that was fine. But yeah, I'm gonna look for campsites that have got trees where I can put up a hammock in the future, because this was not fun. So it's a beautiful cold morning here in the Pacific Northwest. The sun's coming up over the horizon, and I'm gonna get myself some breakfast and maybe I'll take a few photographs, and if they're good, maybe I'll put them at the end of this video here so you guys can enjoy them. All right, if not, as always, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and if you've got suggestions or ideas or your own comments or experiences about going to Fort Casey, I'd like to hear about them. And as always, I hope to see you out on the trail. Bye now.